Greetings! Welcome to Sunday Morning Announcements with the Kathy Gray Avatar. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, please subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us on Zoom, say hi in the chat. We'd love to say hello back. If you're with us in person, hello everybody here. And if this is your first visit, please sign the guest book either in the lobby or online at oakcliffuu.org/guest. Today, Sarah Ricke helps us prepare for the year to come with her sermon, Imbolc, A Light at the End of Winter. We hope you can stick around after the service for Talkback, where we gather in a circle and discuss the service and related topics. For those online, see the Zoom chat at the end of the service for the meeting information. There will be no adult religious exploration today, but Sarah will return next Sunday at 11:15 a.m. to continue reviewing 2023. Have you seen our UUCOC board members hanging out in the pass-through to the sanctuary on Sunday mornings at 9:30 before our services? They're taking turns every week answering questions and talking with our members and visitors about the church. This Sunday features our president, Renee Brill, who would like you to bring her any questions or thoughts you have about our church. You can also join in these discussions online via Zoom. After our service today, our White Accountability Group returns with its new schedule of the fourth Sunday of the month at 12:30 p.m. Coming up this week, our Widening the Circle of Concern work group continues to meet on Monday at 7 p.m. Please join us by attending the weekly meeting and/or submitting your comments and suggestions via email at wcoc@oakcliffuu.org. On Thursday, February 1st, the Social Justice Ministry Reading Group continues with the book Black Pioneers in a White Denomination by Mark D. Morrison Reed. Please email Mavis at sjm@oakcliffuu.org if you have any questions. And here's an important note from Church Admin Rita. Did you volunteer your time for the church last year? Please show us some love by Valentine's Day, February 14th, by making sure we have a record of your volunteer efforts. So if you've worked on committees or projects or volunteered your time in any other ways, and you didn't sign a paper time tracker, you can record your volunteer time online at oakcliffuu.org/volunteer2023. If you aren't sure if your time has been recorded, you can check in your Breeze profile or contact Rita at admin@oakcliffuu.org. For details on all this and more, keep watching your eBlast newsletter. Not receiving the eBlast? Just sign up at oakcliffuu.org/enews. It's that easy. Wait, there's more. We have a member anniversary to celebrate this week. Happy anniversary, Uma Snively, who joined us on February 22nd, 2017. Well, that's it for now. I hope you have a great week.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff. Let us begin our sacred work with the blessing from Reverend Ruth Southworth. Spark of the Spirit, cup and earth embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life. Opening words today are from Gretchen Haley, forged in the fire of us coming together. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought. As if we are not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage. Forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith that we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already here and now. Come, let us worship together. In our community, we take time each week to share what is in our hearts and on our minds. If your heart is heavy today, know that you don't have to carry that heartache alone. Together, we can offer comfort. Please share your sorrows publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger or speak them aloud.
I'll breathe out love when I breathe
We also share our joys with one another, knowing that joy calls unto joy amplified. Together, our voices can rise in a chorus of celebration. Please share your joys publicly by posting them to the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud. Welcome to the UU Church of Oak Cliff. Here we seek to build a community where what you believe is less important than how your beliefs guide and inform your participation in the world. Ours is a community that strives to value the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. To our returning visitors, we are so happy you have joined us again. We know your time is precious, and we're honored to have you with us today. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to any who are joining us for the first time. We recognize the bravery it takes to come into a new place, and we're glad you're here. Ours is a covenantal church, Latin for come together. Covenant means a solemn agreement or promise from the heart regarding a course of action between parties. The practice of promising to walk together is the core of our faith. Simply put, it is a guide for the behavior we expect from ourselves and each other. We are bound together by the promises we make to one another, and we recite our covenant during every worship service. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance to service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together. And in Spanish,
Porque nos amamos uno al otro, honoramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y acepción. Así que hacemos pacto. Thank you.
Isis Astarte Diana Hecate Demeter Kali Inanna. 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 Good morning, blessed be, and a very happy midwinter to you all. So yes, it is very nearly the dead middle of winter, and we are nearly halfway through the season. So if you look on our order of service, you'll see a funny word. It's pronounced Imbolc. And Imbolc is coming up this week on February 1st, and it is the holiday that celebrates the final half of winter and the last quarter of the dark half of the year. So if you followed my sermons before, particularly for Samhain back in October and Yule last month, the dark half of the year might sound vaguely familiar. If not, it's okay. So Imbolc is a Sabbat, and Sabbats are the holidays based on nature worship, the sacredness of the earth, and I am more than happy to admit that I am a dirt-worshipping tree hugger. I'm a pagan in addition to being Unitarian Universalist, and I lean very heavily into our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. So what is Imbolc? How does it play a part in this, our seventh principle? So again, Imbolc is one of the 8 Sabbats, or solar holidays, in modern paganism, or Eurocentric polytheistic religion. And neo-pagans, such as myself, practice our faith, our reverence for the earth and the interdependent web by celebrating natural cycles. We have both lunar and solar holidays. And Sabbats, again, just means solar holidays. We have 8 of them in a calendar year. Some of us call that the wheel of the year. And each one celebrates either the start of a new season or, like Imbolc, the midway point between. For we see time as cyclical rather than linear, or perhaps it might be better to say that we see it as cyclical in addition to linear, a spiral weaving itself ever upward. And we honor the way that the earth flows from winter to spring, from summer to fall and then to winter, from light to dark. It's a balance. It's a circle. It's a cycle. And each of us on that earth-centered path finds balance within ourselves and the natural world, or at least we try to. Because so much of modern life drags us away from the natural cycle of life. We are disconnected from the earth and from the world around us. The darkness of winter can be ignored by electrical lights, the cold with central heating. And goodness knows corporate America doesn't change its clocks to match the seasons. Shorter days don't mean shorter shifts, unfortunately. And if it feels like work just takes too long, anytime between October and March, you're not wrong. Sometimes that clock is not your friend, and 24 hours in the day are not the same in every season. Humans aren't meant to work like it's midsummer in the dead of winter. We're meant to slow down, to rest just as the earth rests, to rejuvenate ourselves, to find balance and to follow the calls of the season that we find ourselves in, to celebrate the Sabbats, to honor the seasons, is to respect that interdependent web of which we will always be a part, no matter how stranded we might feel in our current culture. So how do we celebrate Imbolc? How to honor the season of winter at this sacred halfway point? So there's a poem by Donna Ashworth that I feel reflects the season beautifully. And she writes, "I don't think you're simply tired. I think you're regenerating. Like all of Mother Nature's children in winter, your instinct is to curl up, to hunker down, and to reset. You're not less. You're simply in tune with the sun. And as the dark days begin to wane, your inner wild fortifies and evolves. bolstered and renewed, cocoon style. Ready for the new beginnings, ready for the reinvent. Ready, simply ready. So let yourself be led down the rabbit hole when the weariness washes over and your body begs to rest. I don't think you're simply tired. I think you're regenerating. This poem matches this holiday perfectly because Imbolc is about regeneration. It's about renewal. And it's about getting ready. Now, renewal is especially important. Last year was hard. With everything that's happened in our congregation, with everything that's happened in the world, the conflict and the loss, the droughts and the fighting. But we're still here, and we've toughed it out. Like winter, it's been bitterly cold at times. So cold, we wonder if we're going to make it. It's been hard, and we know that. But we've done a lot to recover already. We've put in a lot of hard work as a congregation, and we've stretched ourselves to the max, and we've tightened our belts, and we've done what needed to be done to keep going. And all of that was hard. It was hard work. And so now the season calls for us to take a break, to rest and rejuvenate ourselves. It's time to breathe. So if you will take a moment, please, and breathe with me. Put your feet flat on the floor. Roll your shoulders and allow them to relax. Close your eyes and just breathe. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. And just keep breathing. Breathe and allow yourself to be rejuvenated by the spice in the air, by the solidness beneath your feet. Imbolc is a season of rejuvenation. Winter is halfway over, which means spring is in sight. But we still have time to rest before the vernal equinox arrives. Right now, though the light is getting brighter and the days are longer, the darkness still holds sway, as is its right. Winter is a time of darkness, and it is a time of rest. But Imbolc is a fire festival, and it is a light in the darkness. That candle we light in the gloom just before dawn. Even in the dead of winter, Imbolc is the hoping, the anticipation of the first rush of joy for spring. And spring will herald the return of the light half of the year. It's a bright season in all the ways that matter. Spring will be lively and green with the earth returning to bloom. Spring will be sunshine and hope. Spring will be an invigoration of energy that the entire world feels as the earth reawakens herself and sends up flowers from her bosom. And the green leaves of winter, the green leaves will bloom after winter. Imbolc is the first taste of that hope. Yes, it's still winter, but you can already see the promise of the renewal of the earth. The first flowers, like snowdrops, are beginning to bud. In the fields, some animals, like lambs, are starting to be born. Even in the depths of winter, there is life and the promise of things to come. Imbolc is that promise. Imbolc is the promise of life, the sacred pact that the earth will awaken and that she will give us green life again. But spring is more than just hope for new life. For all the earth has promised to return to us our energy, so too do we have a part to play. For all that light and life that we are looking forward to coming, there will be an inescapable rush of work to be done. Spring brings light. It brings energy. It brings the return of activity after the season of rest. And that will come with responsibilities, a lot of them. For now, though, it's still Imbolc. It's still winter. And we still have time to breathe. So I want you to take a moment again to breathe. In, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Imbolc is a time of rest and healing. So I want you to take a moment to think about the things that are healing for you. What do you find restful? Perhaps it's reading. I know my to-be-read pile grows longer every time I turn around. How about yours? Maybe it's time to pick up that book you've been meaning to get to and wrap yourself in a blanket and have a cup of warm cocoa and snuggle in for a good bookworm spell. Maybe it's a nice long bath. Get some candles. I think we got given some lovely ones last week. Get some Epsom salt or some bubble bath. Turn on some low music, turn off the lights, and just let yourself have a spa day. Do you like movies? Pop some popcorn, get yourself a big mug of apple cider, and sit yourself down on that sofa for a good movie marathon. Make it a nice long one. Star Wars, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings. If you're really ambitious, you could go for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm a nerd, in case you couldn't tell. But pick your favorite movies, or even just your favorite TV series, and veg out for a weekend or 3. We've still got some time. So in addition to being a nerd, I'm also an ardent nature lover. Kind of comes with the territory of being on an earth-centered religion. And being outside in nature is very fulfilling and restful for me. Perhaps it is for you as well. And that's even in the depths of winter. Or maybe because it's winter. So, we live in Texas. We all know how awful the summers can be. How hot and humid, and how just debilitating walking outside in the middle of a heat wave is like. May my garden rest in peace after last year. But winter is a cool balm after those months of scorching fire from the sky. And it's a lot easier to go outside bundled up to stay warm with coats and hats and scarves. Drag a blanket and snuggle yourself under a pine bough in the woods. It's It's a lot easier to do that than it is to go outside when it's triple digits, even in the shade. So this is my season of nature. So go outside, enjoy the cool air on your skin, and smell the wood smoke as it's carried in the air. Or maybe you just like to relax with meditation, like the beautiful one we were graced with last week. It's a good one for the season if anyone wants to go back and look at it again. Get yourself a comfy pillow, light some incense, light a candle, and just let yourself breathe. Whatever it is that allows you to relax. When you go home today, I want you to do it. In honor of the season, in honor of Imbolc, take some time for yourself to rest and to recharge. Because while we have had all of autumn and winter to rest, Imbolc is a reminder of the reality of the turning of the seasons. It's the other half of Imbolc. After rejuvenation comes the readiness. This time of year is kind of like the night before a big test or an early morning shift start. You got to go to bed early and get lots of rest so you can be at your best. Because after Imbolc comes Ostara. After winter comes spring. And the life and light that we are promised does not happen without effort. And we must prepare ourselves accordingly. Now, if you're pagan like me, one of the many traditions of Imbolc is divination. And no matter how much modern culture has tried, that divination remains embedded into the holiday. You might not celebrate Imbolc, but you might celebrate Groundhog's Day. If he sees his shadow, down he goes. 6 more weeks of winter, oh no. That's there for a reason. Set the day after Imbolc, this strange form of divination tells us what kind of winter we might expect for the rest of the season, what we might expect in the coming year. But we don't really need divination to have an idea of what's to come. If you pay attention, you can guess what might be coming in the coming year, or at least in the coming season. And it's going to be a bumpy ride. And we need to prepare for that accordingly. So our ancestors, they knew this fervor of spring all too well. In spring, there's so much to do. There's the plowing of fields, the harrowing of rows, the planting of seeds. Weeding, and more weeding, always the weeding. Fresh green grass is lovely, but not in the garden. And if you have animals, you have to prepare the fields to turn them out. You have to make sure you've got grass or clover. You've got to check the fences and fix all the holes. And baby animals are super cute, but they mean vet visits and medication. And you have to make sure that the wells are functioning and dredge out the ponds so that the animals can have water, so that you can have water. It's a lot of work. It's a lot to think about. And none of it can be done yet. That's the fuzzy part about Imbolc. We can't do anything about it yet. Not yet. We're still only halfway through winter. It's still freezing cold outside. There was still frost on the ground this morning. And we know all too well that February likes to have that last blistering storm before winter breaks. The last few weeks have been cold enough, so I'm not holding my breath for what's coming on the weeks after. My grandmother's already had to fill up the propane tank because we've used so much. I've still got emergency firewood stacked in 2 places around the house, just in case. We know winter's not over. But I've already got seeds under a sun lamp in my bathroom. I don't know how bad summer's going to be this year, but I'm still going to try for a garden again all the same. And likewise, this church and all of us here, we've got a lot to do coming up. For the church, there's the pledge drives, Teamwork Tuesdays restarting. We've got that new DEI workshop. For us at home, there's spring cleaning to always look forward to. Yay! You got to clean out the gutters. You got to sweep out the cobwebs from all the spiders that came in for the winter. I let them live because I don't like bugs. So you got to clear out your garden. You got to hope that the summer doesn't bake it into the ground again this year. It's probably time to get your car's oil changed. Rotate those tires, check the treads. All that fun maintenance stuff that's been put off because of the weather. And again, we can't do it yet. It's still cold and wet and windy. But we can get ready for it. We can make lists. We can call and make appointments. We can budget and set aside money for the things we know we're going to have to do. It's not fun, but it's got to get done. That's part of the readiness of Imbolc. And on top of everything else going on in this world, we have to prepare for the fact that it is an election year. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be completely drained emotionally and mentally this year from the mindless debates and the heartless drivel that will inevitably be spouted across the television screen. And there will be no way to shut it up or tune it out because it's going to be everywhere. And goodness knows we're going to need to be at our full capacity just to manage our tempers and stay patient. We need the rest of Imbolc to give us that strength. But we've done it before, and we can do it again. And all we need is this last little bit of rest to get ready. Imbolc is about getting ready for the year to come, as much as it is resting up from the last one. And we honor the seasons. We honor our connection to the earth and that interdependent web of life by performing the rites and the rituals and the actions appropriate for the time of year. So rest and breathe and just remember that Imbolc is a resting stop from the past year as much as it is a launching pad for the next. So take the time to get the rest that you require. And then make time to make plans. And above all else, please enjoy the season of midwinter for what it is. Blessed be and happy Imbolc.
Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Gray the windy storms cold upon our cheeks, the wet rain glistens, glistens. Autumn cold has turned the star has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Gray the windy storms cold upon our cheeks, the wet rain glistens, glistens. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Leaping is the fire, golden in the glass, the cider glows like amber. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Last verse. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Gray the windy storms cold upon our cheeks, the wet rain glistens, glistens. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Leaping is the fire, golden in the glass, the cider glows like amber. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Thank you.
In the spring of 2021, UUCOC added a second covenant to our weekly worship service. Our Widening the Circle of Concern, often abbreviated WCOC, our Widening the Circle of Concern work takes its name from an in-depth Unitarian Universalist Association study that was published in 2020 and with which we have been actively engaged ever since. The words of this covenant are in your order of service and will also appear on the screen behind me. We, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff, commit ourselves to the study and dismantling of racism and oppression within our congregation. We commit our congregation and ourselves to the work of anti-racism and anti-oppression. We commit ourselves to listening, to learning, and to action. When we fail, we commit ourselves to trying again and again. We covenant to begin this work and to continue until all of us can truly say that we are a beloved community of justice, equity, and compassion. Thank you all. I am delighted to share with you the news that yesterday morning we had our inaugural Diversity, Equity, Inclusion workshop created by the Widening the Circle of Concern team and attended by a capacity crowd. We had 12 people, including Renee and I, who co-facilitated, and that was the cap of how many people we figured we could manage for what we wanted to do. It went very, very well. We learned some things that we'll incorporate into the next presentation of the workshop. We'll let everybody know when we have another opportunity scheduled to do it, because we would like everyone in our congregation, people outside our congregation from other congregations, we'd like to make this available to everybody. And it's designed basically to provide just a really basic floor of common knowledge and tools so that we can build on that as we grow in our anti-racism, anti-oppression work. So we have a common background there. And some basic tools. So a dozen of us in the room. It was great. And I actually look forward to providing this service again. I do. So thank you all who attended, and we'll keep you apprised of when your next opportunity is to come to one of these. Thank you.
The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts, freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission of building beloved community.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De Dio recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De Dio recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
Our closing words today is by Catherine May, Winter as a Crucible. The changes that take place in winter are a kind of alchemy, an enchantment performed by ordinary creatures to survive. Plants and animals don't fight the winter. They don't pretend it's not happening and attempt to carry on living the same lives that they lived in the summer. They prepare, they adapt. They perform extraordinary acts of metamorphosis to get them through. Winter is a time of withdrawing from the world, maximizing scant resources, carrying out acts of brutal efficiency and vanishing from sight. But that's where the transformation occurs. Winter is not the death of the life cycle, but its crucible. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.